The one and only Taylor Hicks doing Call Paul right here. What's your band's name again?
The Taylor Hicks Band.
The Taylor Hicks Band.
I've learned over the years that you got to stick with one name. You got to stick with one brand.
Welcome back. Were they always the Taylor Hicks Band?
You know,
I had another name.
I had many
before you became.
I
Taylor Hicks.
I had many different names. You know, and I learned that it might be best just to stick with your name. You know?
Well, we originally called this program a different name, and I thought, as much as I want to get my name as many places as possible.
You know, it's very similar. This business. I've kind of learned over the years that you just kind of live and die by your own sword.
I am curious. We talked the other day, and I mean, you are. I mean, people I think sometimes get the wrong impression of an American Idol winner. I mean, you're a real artist. You write. I mean, you play instruments. Are you in the process? Are you currently writing anything?
I'm actually in the studio. I've been in the studio at Southern Ground in Nashville, Tennessee, Zach Brown's studio, working on a record, and it's taken 8 or 9 years to put a record out. But
I wondered because a couple of years ago, I know I didn't miss the record. Because I'm a Taylor, I get all the Taylor Hicks. I'm part of the. I belong to the.
You're part of the Soul Patrol.
Yeah.
You know. Working on a record now. It'll be out in the fall.
Is it country?
It's not. It's rootsy. That's kind of my vibe. It's a little bit of country and a little bit of blues, soulful. But I mean, I come from the Van Morrison, Bob Seger era. You know, where the singer-songwriter, and it's got some country undertones, but it's me. And it's taken me a while to record the music, and write it. But you want to put the best songs you can on there, and you have to wait on great songs, whether you write them or you don't.
So, I mean, when you do a record, how do you start out? Is it a concept, or do you just?
It can be. For me, the concept for this record is great songs, and also recorded similar to some of the old Jackson Browne records. Robert Randolph is one of the greatest slide players in the.
He did the theme song for SEC.
He's a buddy, and he guests on the record. So he's very similar to David Lindley in the way that he plays. He's kind of like a new generation of David Lindley. So I kind of borrow the idea for some of those old Jackson Browne records. I wanted to start there and record a lot of stuff to analog tape, which is kind of non-conventional these days. It was conventional back in the day, but I wanted to start there, and I think I'm finished there.
So when you grew up, not that far from where we are, what were you listening to in middle and high school?
Ray Charles.
Really?
So Ray Charles was kind of the root of my musical tree, thank goodness, because there's very few people and artists in music, in my opinion, where you can actually hear their heartbreak. And I'm very happy that Ray Charles was a part of kind of the beginning process for me, listening to music, because I feel like that's kind of where the soul started for me.
And when you won Idol, because I was talking to you about something one day, and I'm trying to remember who it was. I think it was Smokey Robinson. We were playing golf, and I said something about a Smokey, and you said, "Oh yes, I'm not Smokey's big fan." I mean, you met so many people, and you still do. What was that like when you went Idol and you literally meet the world, which you did?
Well, I was very thankful after living in different vans and couch surfing on different people's houses, and really kind of it's a 10-year overnight success story. Idol is very similar in that aspect, because it seems like through 6 months of television you do become successful, but it's not like that. I think everybody that grows up and with the idea of making it in entertainment, and especially music, you're going to have to travel, and my motto is you got to go through it to get to it.
Right.
And I think what's interesting is that you and I have kind of similar paths. I think that's why you and I jive, you know, is because, you know, it's kind of a we knew each other when, but I've never met anybody that has worked as hard as you did. I mean, it doesn't seem like you know, when I was listening to the show, and I knew that Peter Burns did some stuff, right? And he did some stuff for you, and I thought to myself, where in the heck is Paul? You know, where did he go? Where did you go?
Was that today?
No. When did you go on vacation? Did you take a couple weeks off? Was it vacation? Where do you vacate?
Vacate's a good word right now. I don't. Although I'm working on it.
You know, it's shocking. You know, I mean, I'm an avid listener of the show, and I'm always, you know, listening to it and watching it. And you know, when you take off, it's like where, you know, the big question, and I'm not the only one. It's like where do you go? Like, do you go to the beach with your wife?
I try to do it all, but I mean, I really I like being here. I mean, and I feel. Yeah, will the show go on without me? Absolutely. Every show goes on, as you well know, and I know. But if I can get here, short of something, an occasional couple of days off, I really prefer to be here. This is, I mean, Taylor, I lead a dysfunctional family on this show. And if I took off 2 or 3 weeks, can you imagine where all these people would be? The Jim from Tuscaloosa's, and the Darryls, and the Charles from Real Towns, and the Phyllis's. I mean, they would just be squabbles all over the map. I mean, so we got to sit here and referee it all.
You know, I love your callers. You know, I think
they are the show. You know that.
Hey, yeah, I do. I listen to them, and you know, when I hosted your show back in the day,
you did. I actually had a serious surgery about 10 years ago, and I was out for, I'll never forget this. So I had eye surgery, and I had to miss the show for a couple of days. So the surgery was on Monday, and on Tuesday I had to go down to see the doctor, take the bandages off, and my mother-in-law took me. I couldn't drive. So we stopped at a CVS on Highway 280 in Birmingham. I mean, I had to go in and get the medication. So we go in there, and the guy recognized, oh, you're not on your show today? And my mother-in-law says, he's not, but put the radio on. Taylor Hicks is hosting. I'm like, she like blurted out the whole CBS.
Listen, I had a blast doing that. You know, I got to take calls. You know, I was you know, obviously a big fan of.
If you're available for hosting me tomorrow, we got a spot.
We don't want you to vacate too much. So don't vacate on us too much.
Great. Thanks for coming by. I know you're going to keep bringing us in and out. The great Taylor Hicks, right here as we are live from Greystone. We'll come right back.
We call Paul. That makes sense.